Okay, so we're going to look at time calculations now. So just some basic facts. 1 year is 365 days, which is 12 months, which is 52 weeks. 1 week is 7 days, 1 day is 24 hours, 1 hour is 60 minutes, and 1 minute is 60 seconds. Okay, so here's a little diagram to do your conversions for some of those units up there: weeks, days, hours, minutes, and seconds. Let's have a look at the first one. 3 years equals how many months? Okay, we know there's 1 year is equal to 12 months. So 3 years must be 3 lots of 12, which is 36. 91 days, we'll have to go from days to weeks. So if you look at your diagram here, days to weeks, let's divide by 7. Okay, so we need to work out how many 7s go into 91. So let's work that out. 7 into 9 goes once, there's 2 remainder. 7 into 21 goes 3 times with no remainder, so the answer there is 13 weeks. Okay, now minutes to hours and minutes. So, well, to go from minutes to hours, you can see from the diagram we can divide by 60. Alright, so we've got to see how many 60s go into 275. So one way of doing this is thinking about this. How many lots of 60 am I going to get? Well, 4 lots of 60 gives me 240 minutes. I need 275 minutes. So that means I've got 15 minutes remaining from that 275. So 4 lots of 60 is 4 hours. It's going to be 4 hours there, and minutes will be 15. Okay, so the other way you could think about that is 60s into 275. How many times does that go? It's going to be something like this: 60s into 275. 60 doesn't go into 2 or 27, so it's just going to be how many 60s in 275, which is 4, and the remainder would be 15. So 4 hours and 15 there. Okay, now 3 days into minutes. Well, let's have a look at your diagram again. Days into minutes. Okay, so 2 things to do. Days into minutes, we're going to times by 24 and then times by 60. Okay, so let's do that. 3 times 24, and that should work out to be 72, shouldn't it? 72, but that's hours. Okay, 24 hours in a day, so 3 lots of 24 is 72 hours. We know that each hour has 60 minutes, so if we go back to your diagram, hours to minutes is times 60. So then you're going to go 72 times 60. Okay, so we could split that up to, and that'll be minutes. That's 72 times 6 times 10. Okay, so let's think about it. How would I work that out? Well, you could work out the long way, of course. 72 times 6. Might do it over here. So 72 times 6. 6 twos are 12. 6 times, of course, 1. 7 6 4 243. So you get 432 there. So 72 times 6 is 432. So then we're going to get 432 times 10. And then just add the 0. 432 0. That'll be minutes. Okay. 30 months to years. Okay, so looking back at your diagram, do we have months to years? We don't, but we do know there's 12 months in a year, don't we? So we know that 1 year is equal to 12 months. So to go from 1 year to 12 months, we times by 12. To go from months to years, we divide by 12. Okay, so we're going to put 12s into 30 because we're doing division. 12 into 30. So 12 into 30 goes twice. 2 12s are 24, and remainder 6. Okay, so you could write your answer then as 30 divided by 12 will be 2, and the remainder will be 6 over 12 there. Now that's the same as 2.5. Okay, so our answer would be 2.5 years. Okay. Another way you could think about that is 2 lots of 12 is 24 plus 6 is 30. So there's your 2 years here. And 6 months is half of a year. So you could think of that as 2 years and half year. Hence 2.5 years. Okay, let's have a look at some additions here. So we'll simplify these expressions. So we could look at the hours first. 9 plus 6 is 15 hours. And then 25 plus 48, which should be 73 minutes, which is 1 hour and 13 minutes. All right. And how do we get that? Well, there's 60 minutes an hour, isn't there? So essentially this here is 60 minutes plus 13 minutes is 73 minutes. So now we've got 15 hours we had plus the 1 hour 13 minutes. So that gives our answer as 16 hours and 13 minutes. Now, what about this one? 7 hours 5 minus 3 hours 24. So one way of thinking about this is if I've got 3 hours 24 and I want to get to 7 hours and 5, well, first I figure out how many minutes do I need to go to the next hour. That should be plus 36 minutes. And then I've got to figure out what do I need to add to get to 7 hours and 5 minutes. That'll be 3 hours 5 minutes. So then we have 3 hours 5 plus 36 minutes, which will be 3 hours and 41 minutes. Okay, now there's other ways you can do those questions. You could have gone 7 minus 3 is 4. You could have gone 5 minus 24 is equal to minus 19. And this is hours, obviously. And this is minutes. And then you could have gone 4 hours minus 19 minutes equals 3 hours 41 minutes. Okay. Now let's have a look at rounding to the nearest hour. Well, round to the nearest hour, you're going to round up in hours if the minutes are 0.5 or more, or you're going to round up if the minutes are 30 or more. Okay, so let's have a look at rounding to the nearest hour for these questions. So if I look at that 0.5 or more, notice that this here is 0.5 or more. It's actually 0.8. I'm going to round up to 8 hours. This one here, 12 hours, 19 minutes. You notice that the minutes is not 30 or more. So to the nearest hour, this will be 12 hours. For the next one, notice that the minutes is 30 or more. So round up, that goes to 3 hours to the nearest hour. Now, this is 0.5 of an hour, as you can see, 0.5. So it's 0.5 or more, you round up. So this will be 5 hours. And actually, that shouldn't be there. Part E, this is 0.2, isn't it? So it's not 0.5 or more, so the 15 hours is the answer there, because we're rounding down. Now to round each time to the nearest minute, let's come over here. It says to round to the nearest minute, round up if the seconds is 0.5 or more, and round up if the seconds is 30 or more, otherwise you're going to round down. So now this is 11.4 minutes. So to the nearest minute, that's 11 minutes. Because this is not 0.5 or more, it's less than 0.5, so we round down. Here the seconds are 30 or more, so we're going to round up to 26 minutes. And here you can see to the nearest minute, this is 30, so the next minute up will be 7, so it'll be 3 hours and 7 minutes. Okay. Now, what about the last two questions here, converting 4 1/3 hours to hours and minutes? Well, we just have to look at 1/3 of an hour first. 1/3 of an hour is 1/3 of 60 minutes. Now, a third of 60 is 20 minutes. So our answer is 4 hours and 20 minutes. Now, this question here is 6 hours and 42 to 6.42 hours to hours, minutes, and seconds. Should be commas there. Well, let's have a look. We need to find 0.42 of an hour first. So 0.42 of an hour. We're going to change now to 60 minutes. This is 0.42 of an hour. And we can break this up into 0.42 times 10 times 6. Now 0.42 times 10 is just 4.2 times 6 will be 24 plus the 6 fours are 24, and 6 times 0.2 is 1.2, so it's 25.2. That's minutes. Okay, now we need to find what 0.2 of a minute is to get our answer in seconds. So 0.2 times 60. Now that'll be, well, let's think about this. Is going to be no, it should be seconds. We need seconds here, so I'll put seconds first. And then we'll do our little calculation, which will be 0.2 times 6 times 10. Now, 0.2 times 6 is just 1.2, and then we've got the 10 there, and that'll be in 12 seconds. So, the final answer is 6 hours, 25 minutes, and 12 seconds. Okay, there we go.